Tonight, when your dog falls asleep, don't just smile and call them cute. Look carefully, because the position they're sleeping in could reveal something they've been silently trying to tell you for weeks, maybe even months. To most owners, it's just another adorable sleeping pose. But to veterinarians and animal behaviorists, it's a powerful window into your dog's emotions, physical health, hidden stress, and natural survival instincts. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what your dog's favorite sleeping position is really saying, and why ignoring these silent signs could mean missing something important. Let's begin. Dogs spend nearly half of their lives sleeping. But sleep isn't just about rest. While your dog sleeps, their body is constantly revealing clues about how they feel, what they're experiencing, and sometimes even problems that haven't shown obvious symptoms yet. Most owners notice when their dog is eating less, or limping, or refusing to play, but very few notice the earliest warning sign: a sudden change in the way their dog sleeps. Sometimes that change is completely harmless. Other times, it can be the first silent signal that something is wrong. Today we're going to explore the 5 most common sleeping positions dogs use, what science says they really mean, and when you should pay close attention. Let's start with the position almost every dog owner has seen: the donut. A few years ago, a rescue dog named Bella arrived at her new home after spending months in a shelter. She had warm blankets, fresh food, a loving family, everything a dog could possibly need. Yet every single night, Bella ignored the soft dog bed waiting for her. Instead, she walked into the hallway, curled herself into an impossibly tight little ball, tucked her nose beneath her tail, and stayed that way until morning. Her owners smiled. She looks adorable. But Bella wasn't trying to look cute. She was trying to feel safe. Long before dogs became our companions, their ancestors survived in forests, mountains, and open grasslands where sleeping carelessly could mean becoming someone else's dinner. Curling into a tight ball protected the stomach, chest, and other vital organs from predators. At the same time, wrapping the tail around the body trapped precious body heat during cold nights. Even though your dog now sleeps inside a comfortable home, millions of years of evolution haven't disappeared. That instinct still lives inside them, which is why many healthy dogs naturally choose this position, especially during colder weather or while taking short naps. But here's something many owners don't realize. The position itself usually isn't the warning sign. The change is. If your dog has always loved stretching out across the floor, then suddenly begins sleeping tightly curled every single night, your dog may be trying to cope with something you can't see. It could be anxiety after a change in routine, stress caused by a new environment, discomfort in the abdomen, or simply feeling colder than usual. That's why veterinarians don't just ask, "How does your dog sleep?" They often ask, "Has your dog sleeping position changed recently?" Because changes in behavior often appear before obvious physical symptoms. So tonight, don't just notice how your dog is sleeping. Notice whether it's different from what they've always done. That single observation could tell you far more than you expect. But while the donut position is all about protection, the next sleeping position tells a completely different story. In fact, when a dog sleeps like position number 2, they may be giving you one of the biggest compliments a dog can ever give a human. There is a moment in every dog's life when something remarkable happens. They stop listening for danger. They stop scanning every sound. Their breathing slows, their muscles soften, and with one quiet movement, they gently roll onto their side. It may not look important, but to canine behavior experts, it's one of the strongest signs of trust a dog can show. Meet Max, a 10-year-old golden retriever who had spent most of his younger years watching over his family. Whenever someone knocked on the front door, Max was already standing before anyone else. Every strange sound, every passing car, every unfamiliar footstep. Nothing escaped his attention, but as the years passed, something changed. Instead of sleeping curled up near the entrance, Max began sleeping peacefully in the middle of the living room, completely stretched out on his side. His legs relaxed, his breathing deep. Sometimes he even twitched in his sleep, while his family quietly watched television nearby. Max wasn't becoming lazy. He was becoming confident, because a dog can only sleep like this when their brain believes, "I am safe." Unlike the donut position, sleeping on the side leaves the legs, neck, and stomach exposed if danger suddenly appeared. Standing up would take much longer. For a wild animal, that delay could mean life or death, which is exactly why wolves and stray dogs rarely choose this position unless they feel completely protected. Inside your home, the side sleeper tells a beautiful story. It says, "I trust this place. I trust these people. Nothing here is going to hurt me." Veterinarians also associate this position with the deepest stages of sleep. This is where dogs usually enter REM sleep, the stage where the brain processes memories, stores new experiences, and dreams. If you've ever noticed your dog's paws gently twitching, their whiskers moving, their eyelids fluttering, or heard tiny muffled barks while they sleep, you're probably watching them dream. Researchers believe dogs often replay parts of their day during REM sleep, perhaps chasing a ball, running through a park, or simply reliving a happy moment with you. But here's something many owners overlook. While sleeping on the side usually represents comfort, a sudden refusal to sleep this way can sometimes reveal discomfort. If your dog normally loves sleeping on their side, but suddenly avoids it for several days, it could indicate joint pain, hip discomfort, arthritis, or abdominal tenderness. Your dog isn't trying to worry you, they're simply choosing the position that hurts the least. Sometimes, the biggest clue isn't the position itself, it's the position they've suddenly stopped using. And speaking of unusual sleeping positions, the next one often confuses owners the most. At first glance, it looks like the dog is asleep, but in reality, part of their brain is still standing guard. Have you ever looked at your dog and wondered, are they actually sleeping, or are they secretly watching everything? Meet Duke, a German Shepherd whose family often joked that he never truly rested. Every afternoon, Duke would lower his chest to the floor, stretch his front paws forward, rest his head gently on top of them, close his eyes, and appear completely asleep. But the moment someone opened the front gate, a bicycle passed outside, or a car door slammed down the street, Duke was instantly on his feet. No confusion, no stretching, no sleepy hesitation, just immediate action. This posture is commonly known as the lion pose, and despite how peaceful it looks, it's actually one of the lightest stages of canine sleep. Unlike the side sleeper, the muscles never become completely relaxed. The body remains prepared to move within a fraction of a second. For working dogs, guard dogs, farm dogs, or highly alert breeds, this position is extremely common. Their brain is allowing the body to rest, while still keeping part of their awareness focused on the environment. Think of it as sleeping, with one ear still listening. Animal behaviorists often describe this as an adaptive survival strategy. Your dog isn't anxious by default, they're simply staying ready. Ready for movement, ready for your voice, ready for play, ready to protect. Many intelligent breeds naturally spend part of the day sleeping like this, and in healthy dogs, that's completely normal. However, if your dog only sleeps in the lion pose, rarely relaxes onto their side, constantly startles at small sounds, or never seems able to enter deep sleep, It may suggest ongoing stress, anxiety, or even physical discomfort that prevents complete relaxation. That's why context always matters more than one position alone. A happy dog may spend the afternoon in the lion pose, then roll comfortably onto their side later that evening. Patterns tell us far more than isolated moments. But now, we're about to reach one of the funniest sleeping positions in the entire dog world. Owners laugh every time they see it. Children think it looks adorable. Yet hidden behind this hilarious pose is an incredible piece of canine biology. Let's move on to position number 4, the Superman pose. Walk into almost any home with a young, energetic dog, and sooner or later, you'll probably find them lying in one of the funniest positions imaginable. Front legs stretched far out in front, back legs kicked straight behind them, belly pressed flat against the floor, looking less like a dog and more like a tiny superhero who crash-landed in your living room. Most owners laugh, some grab their phone for a picture, but very few realize this adorable position has a fascinating scientific purpose. Meet Cooper, a 1-year-old French bulldog who seemed to have endless energy. Every afternoon, he would race around the backyard, chasing butterflies, running after tennis balls, sliding across the grass at full speed. Then, without warning, he would run inside, drop flat onto the cool kitchen tiles, stretch out like Superman, close his eyes, and stay perfectly still for 10 minutes. His owners thought he was simply exhausted, but Cooper's body was doing something much smarter. Dogs don't sweat through their skin the way humans do. Instead, they rely mainly on panting and limited sweat glands in their paw pads to cool themselves, one of the fastest ways for them to release excess. These surfaces act almost like natural cooling pads. The Superman pose also has another advantage. Unlike deeper sleeping positions, the legs are already perfectly positioned for movement. The second your dog hears the sound of a food bowl, a leash, or your voice, they can spring back to their feet almost instantly. That's why this position is incredibly common in puppies and young dogs. They're constantly switching between resting and playing, between sleeping and exploring. It's nature's version of a quick recharge. However, if an older dog suddenly begins lying like this constantly, especially while heavily panting, searching for cool floors, or refusing soft bedding, it could be a sign that they're struggling to regulate body temperature. Sometimes, it's simply because the weather is hot. Other times, it may suggest fever, pain, or overheating. The position itself isn't dangerous, but understanding why your dog chooses it can help you recognize problems before they become emergencies. And now, we've arrived at the sleeping position that surprises almost every new dog owner. Because if your dog sleeps like this, they're giving you one of the greatest compliments they'll ever give. Imagine falling asleep in the middle of an open field, completely exposed, without a single worry in the world. Most wild animals would never dare. For them, it would be incredibly dangerous. Yet millions of family dogs do exactly that, every single day. Meet Charlie, a 6-year-old Labrador Retriever. Every evening, just a few minutes after his family settled down to watch television, Charlie would wander into the middle of the living room, roll completely onto his back, stretch all 4 legs toward the ceiling, and begin snoring louder than anyone else in the house. Visitors laughed every time they saw him, but Charlie wasn't trying to be funny. He was making a statement every dog owner dreams of hearing. I feel completely safe here when a dog sleeps on their back, their throat, chest, and stomach. The most vulnerable parts of their body are fully exposed in the wild. No healthy wolf would choose this position for deep sleep unless they believed there was absolutely no immediate danger. So when your dog does it inside your home, it tells us something extraordinary. They trust their environment, they trust the people around them, and perhaps most importantly, they trust you. There's another scientific reason dogs love this position. The fur covering their belly is much thinner than the rest of their body. By exposing that area to cooler air, they release body heat more efficiently. It's one of nature's simplest air conditioning systems. So, during warm summer evenings, sleeping belly up is often completely normal. But here's where observation becomes important. If your dog rarely sleeps this way, then suddenly begins spending hours on their back while breathing heavily, panting, or constantly searching for cooler places to lie down, they may not simply be comfortable. They could be trying to cool themselves because they're becoming overheated. Always make sure they have access to fresh water, shade, good airflow, and a cool place to rest. Sometimes, the smallest changes in sleeping habits can reveal the biggest clues about your dog's health. Because here's the truth, no single sleeping position is automatically good or automatically bad. The real story isn't the position, it's the change. A dog who suddenly changes where they sleep, how they sleep, or the position they choose may be telling you something long before obvious symptoms appear. And that's exactly what we'll talk about next, how to recognize the difference between a harmless habit and a sleeping change you should never ignore. After everything we've explored today, the donut, the side sleeper, the lion pose, the Superman, and the belly-up position, you might be wondering, so, which sleeping position is the best? The answer may surprise you. There isn't one. Veterinarians don't judge a dog's health by a single sleeping position. They look for something much more important: change. Imagine you wake up tomorrow and your dog, who has spent years sleeping peacefully on their side, is suddenly curled into a tight ball every single night. You might think, maybe they're just cold, and maybe you're right. But what if they aren't? What if they're developing arthritis, feeling anxious because something changed at home, or trying to protect an area of their body that's becoming painful? Your dog can't tell you, "My hips hurt." They can't explain, "I'm feeling stressed." Instead, they speak through behavior, and sleep is one of the clearest conversations they have with us. Listen before they have to cry, for help dogs almost never wake up one morning and suddenly become sick. In many cases, their bodies begin whispering long before they start screaming. Maybe they begin sleeping in a different room. Maybe they stop stretching out. Maybe they wake up more often during the night. Maybe they avoid their favorite bed. These tiny changes seem unimportant until weeks later, when the real problem finally becomes obvious. By then, you realize your dog had been trying to tell you something all along. You just didn't know their language. Become a better observer. The happiest dog owners aren't the ones who buy the most expensive toys, or the biggest dog beds, or the fanciest food. They're the owners who notice the little things. The owners who recognize when something changes. The owners who pay attention before a small problem becomes a big one. Tonight, before you go to bed, take just 60 seconds. Watch your dog sleep. Don't interrupt them. Don't call their name. Just observe. Notice where they choose to sleep. Notice how they position their body. Notice how they breathe. Because those quiet moments can tell you more about your dog's health than you ever imagined. One final thought. Your dog has spent their entire life learning your language. They know your footsteps. They recognize your voice. They understand your routines. They even notice your emotions. Maybe it's time we learned a little more of theirs. Because every wag, every glance, every stretch, and every sleeping position is part of a conversation they've been trying to have with us since the day we brought them home. The question is, are we finally listening? Call to action. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which sleeping position does your dog use the most? The donut, the side sleeper, the lion pose, the Superman, or the belly up? Tell me your dog's breed, age, and favorite sleeping position in the comments below. I read as many of your comments as I can, and I'd love to hear your stories. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like. Subscribe for more science-backed videos that help you better understand your dog's behavior, health, and emotions. And until next time, give your best friend an extra hug tonight. They may not speak our language, but they've been trying to tell us they love us all along. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.